Hey YouTube, I'm Electric3 and today I'm going to review one of my favourite games in the universe. No pun intended. Even though this may be one of my favourite games, I'm going to try my best to be as least biased as possible. So don't worry. Anyway, enough talk, let's start with the review. It all begins when Mario receives an invitation from Princess Peach to come to the special get-together event known as the Star Festival. Peach apparently has a surprise for Mario. So obviously Mario drops whatever he's doing and gets there as quick as humanly possible. Once he reaches the castle, big surprise, Bowser appears. But this time, instead of kidnapping the princess as usual, he rips the entire castle into space with a giant UFO. Because, you know, why sneakily take the princess when you can cause even more inconvenience by kidnapping the entire castle? So anyway, Mario obviously tries to help, but gets hit in the face by one of Kamek's spells, and he gets launched far into the galaxy. So this is when the proper game starts to happen. Mario wakes up on this really small planet, only to find this strange silver starlight creature called a Luma. Then for whatever reason it decides to turn into a rabbit. This is obviously when the tutorial, if you will, starts. The rabbit demonstrates the most complex action in any video game, jumping. You follow the rabbit to two more rabbits. Only difference is these two have golden ears, instead of silver ears. So without questioning what the balls is actually going on, they decide to play a nice little game of hide and seek. Spoiler alert, they're easier to find than your left butt cheek. So when you find them all, it turns out the two golden ear ones are actually gold Lumas. And the silver Luma you found is actually the black sheep of most Lumas, as you only ever see one silver Luma throughout the whole game. So anyway, for whatever reason, after you have done all of this little building grows out of the ground. So instinctively Mario decides to climb it, only to find the best Mario character ever, Rosalina. So it turns out she actually knows the whole dilemma of the princess being kidnapped, so she decides to shove the silver Luma into your hat, granting you the spin attack. This is done by shaking the Wii remote, and it fits and controls perfectly. So after all that jazz, we finally get into the proper game. Super Mario Galaxy contains dozens upon dozens of unique, fun, and well-designed galaxies. Each galaxy contains around 3 main stars, and usually around 3 secret stars. If you've ever played any older 3D Mario games, then you'll know how this works. You select the star and begin the mission. Each galaxy has its own unique soundtrack. They all fit amazing, and they are all very well composed. I mean, just listen to this. When you decide you need a break from star hunting, you can stay at this beautifully designed hub known as the Comet Observatory. Though there isn't much there at first, as you get further through the game you unlock new things such as this red star thing that makes you fly into the air for a certain amount of time. Even though you will spend most of your time conquering galaxies and getting stars, this is still just a nice little place that's quite fun to explore. There is also this book in this library place which explains Rosalina's origin story, which is quite entertaining. As for the controls in this game, they're smooth but simple. Move Mario with the joystick, use the directional buttons for camera control, and quickly jerk the Wii remote to spin. The camera controls pretty damn well. For the type of game it's in, I'd say it's almost perfect, with a few exceptions when I've been killed in certain areas because of it, but nothing major. There are also power-ups in the game to shake up the gameplay a bit. As I mentioned before, there is the red star which makes Mario fly for a certain amount of time. There is the invincibility star, which obviously makes you invincible for a bit. There's the spring suit, which can be used to bounce Mario around the place. It doesn't control amazingly, but it gets the job done. There is the fire flower that has the same use as always, except this time it has a time limit. There is the ice flower, which works essentially the same way as the fire flower, except it's ice and it allows you to walk on water. There is a Boo Mushroom, which makes Mario a Boo and allows him to pass through certain walls. And finally, the Bee Suit. It allows Mario to climb honey-shaped walls, and it also allows him to fly for a very short amount of time. Not only do you have standard coins, you also have these things called star bits. They're actually quite a large component of the game. You basically walk over them to collect them, but the most efficient way is using the Wii cursor to hover over and select them. They mostly come in handy for those which are hard to reach. There will be some bonus and secret galaxies throughout the game too. Occasionally you will see these pink Lumas which cannot get enough star bits and will not shut up until you shove the right amount that it wants down its throat. When he's finally obese with more health problems than I can count, he will launch really far away and turn into a new galaxy. And that, children, is how galaxies are born. You can then travel to the galaxy and do your thing. As for this game's visuals, they actually look quite stunning for an early Wii game not in HD. The levels are usually vibrant and colourful. Even though Mario Galaxy 2's levels are much more full of colour, this game still holds up as it's got some beautifully designed levels and texture work. Speaking of level design, because this game takes place in space, I have to give Nintendo a pat on the back. They really did the gravity mechanic really well. There is never an anti-gravity moment where it shouldn't be, and it's always fun and satisfying to use. It's also a clever way to incorporate lots of unique level design ideas as well. The last thing I want to talk about is finishing the game. Don't worry, I won't spoil anything too much. There are over 120 stars in the game. After collecting them all, you unlock the ability to play as the beloved Luigi. So when you decide you've had enough of playing as a fat plumber who has about as much personality as a peanut, you can switch to Luigi, which is, to be honest, better in every way for this game. Mario, I believe, jumps further, but Luigi jumps higher. And even though they both come in handy, I think jumping higher is just a little more helpful in most cases. So overall, Mario Galaxy is a masterpiece. This game and its sequel are by far the best games the Wii has to offer. It is a must-have for casual gamers, children, adults, Mario fans, anyone. And if you're sensitive like me, the ending might make you shed a tear the first time you see it. I give this game a 10 out of 10. I know I said I wasn't going to be biased at the beginning, but I'm honestly not. This game deserves it. I know it has a few issues here and there, but all games do. So that's my review. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you want, and I'll see you later, Sparks. Goodbye.